Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Today we can start with in the measure theory, Lebesgue integral. In last few classes, we discussed about the Lebesgue integral and pictorial representation, some of the theorems related to Lebesgue measurable space, and also Lebesgue simple theorems related to simple functions, and bounded convergence theorem, integral on of a non-negative function with respect to some important theorem we discussed, Fourier's lemma, monotone convergence theorem, integrable over Lebesgue measurable set we discussed in the last few classes. And in the last class, we started with the general Lebesgue integral. In this class, I plan to discuss the general Lebesgue integral and theorem on general Lebesgue integral, which is generalization of non-negative measurable Lebesgue integral function, and also Bepi's-Lewis theorem, and that is the Lebesgue convergence theorem also. We say that Bepi's-Lewis theorem is same as the Lebesgue convergence theorem, and generalization of that is generalized Lebesgue convergence theorem, or sometimes we call that as Lebesgue dominant convergence theorem. These are the things I want to discuss with you, and after that, the related, whatever the discussion we done, that discussion related problems we will discuss today's class. In the general Lebesgue integral, I discussed in the last class itself, but in the last minute, maybe some of you are missed that one. That's why again, I will discuss that one. Any mapping, F is a mapping from X to R star. You know that it is an extended real valued function. Here we define F plus. F plus of X can be defined as is equal to F of X if it is F of X is greater than or equal to 0. If it is less than 0, then we can consider it is 0. Then usually that F plus X can be represented as the maximum of set of all F of X comma 0. Here, the pictorial representation of that we can make here. This is the graph. If we say this is the graph, then how to take this one means here, this is here we can consider this portion And again, because it's the maximum of that, this is the portion. And again, we can consider this one. That is known as the positive part of F plus. Similarly, the negative portion F minus is denoted by minimum of minus f of x comma 0. Means suppose there is this curve, you can consider here, this is the curve, and this one is the lower portion. Here first this can be make it into a here, this can be rearranged here, this portion, and again this portion, this become this, and again we can this lower part become upper part, then again we can consider this way. This is the F plus and F minus. We can show in the separate diagram, means we can show this here, then this. Okay, the negative part of f of x. This is the positive and negative part of f of x and f of minus x. I think you got some idea related to f minus. F minus means 0 if f of x is greater than or equal to 0, minus f of x if f of x is less than 0. That is the definition. Now we will move on to a definition. You know that in the Lebesgue measurable function on the measurable set E, then the positive part f plus can be written as f and 0, and for x belongs to E, f plus is maximum of f of x comma 0, and similarly the negative part of f minus is denoted by f minus is equal to minus f and 0. Then that can be written as f minus of x maximum of minus f of x comma 0, or minus times minimum of f of x comma 0. Generally we can write f is equal to f plus minus f power minus. This is the notion we are defined, and also I shown in the pictorial representation also. Now we can start the today's class. If f is integrable over E, if both f plus and f minus are integrable over on E, then we can define integral upon f over E is equal to integral upon f plus over E minus integral upon f minus over E. Now related to that, we will prove some of the theorems on integrable over E, that is general Lebesgue integrable over E. Then the function, these are the four properties we will prove. The function CF is integrable over E, and integral upon CF over E is equal to C times integral upon F over E. And the second one is the sum of two integrable function, means f plus g is integrable over E, and integral upon f plus g over E is equal to integral upon f over E plus integral upon g over E. And the third property is if f is less than or equal to g almost everywhere, then integral upon f over E is less than or equal to integral upon G over E. If A and B are disjoint measurable sets, then measurable and also it is integrable function, then integral upon F A union B is equal to integral upon F over A plus integral upon F over B. You already proved that non-negativity measurable function theorem, that is the theorem number 7. It is not 1, it is theorem number 7. It is 1 is follows directly from the 7, we can write directly. Now we will prove in the theorem. Second part is important. We know that integral upon F over E is equal to integral upon F plus over E minus integral upon F minus over E. We now prove that F is equal to F1 minus F2, where F1 and F2 are non-negative measurable function over E. Then integral upon F over E is equal to integral upon F over F1 over E minus integral upon F2 over E. You know that F plus minus F minus means here F we are taken as F1 minus F2, then F plus F2. We can transfer positive parts. Integrating both the sides, we get what happens. Integral upon F plus integral upon F2 is equal to integral upon F1 plus integral upon F minus. Then integral upon F plus minus F minus is equal to integral upon F1 minus E over E integral upon F2 minus over E, means you get this is same as F integral upon F over E is equal to integral upon F1 over E minus integral upon F2 over E. Some rearrangement, we get a proof for this. Now we will choose two functions F and G. Because it is a general Lebesgue integral, then F can be represented as F plus minus F minus. Similarly, G can be represented as G plus minus G minus. Then sum of this can be written as some positive parts we can write one side minus the negative part. Then if we apply the integral upon over E, then this become integral upon over E F plus G is equal to integral upon F plus G plus over E minus integral upon F minus G minus over E. Then this can be rearranged because two part, it is a integrable can be separated over the same domain. Then we can write integral upon F plus minus integral upon F minus plus integral upon G minus G plus minus integral upon G minus, means this is same as integral upon F over E plus integral upon G over E. You know that F and G are integrable, means both are less than infinity, are finite. Integral upon F over E is finite, integral upon G over E is finite, then integral upon F plus G over E is also finite. This implies F plus G is integrable over E. That is that using the definition of integrable, we can say that sum of these two is also finite. Now we move on to a proof of 3. If F is less than or equal to G almost everywhere, means G minus F is greater than or equal to 0 almost everywhere. We already proved that integral of a non-negative function is again a non-negative, then integral upon over E G minus F is greater than or equal to 0. Using the above property, here we can write integral upon G over E minus integral upon F over E is greater than or equal to 0. If you rearrange, we get a proof for that. Integral upon F over E is less than or equal to integral upon G over E. Now the fourth one, because you know that A and B are disjoint measurable sets, means we can say that chi of A union B is equal to chi A plus chi B minus chi of A intersection B. But here it is a disjoint, means A intersection B is equal to 0. Chi of A intersection B is equal to 0 means that we are neglecting here. Then integral upon F over A union B can be written as integral upon F into chi of A union B. Then this can be multiplied with this F into chi of A plus F into chi of B. Then this is same as integral upon F over A. This is same as integral upon F over B. This is the theorem of Jenrez-Lebesgue integral theorem. Is it any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Lebesgue convergence theorem. Let G be a this is also known as Bepi's-Lewis theorem. Let G be an integrable over E, and let Fn be a sequence of measurable function such that mod Fn is less than or equal to G on E, and for almost all x in E, we have f of x is equal to limit of n tending to infinity Fn x, then integral upon f over E is equal to limit of n tending to infinity integral upon Fn. What is the meaning of this? Here G is integrable over E. What is the meaning of that? Here integral upon G over E is less than infinity. Is it correct? And let Fn be a sequence of measurable function such that mod Fn is less than or equal to G means it is Fn is bounded to G. That is the meaning. Fn is bounded to G on E. G is integrable. The function sequence of measurable function is bounded on G. Therefore, almost all every x in E, and also there is a limiting point Fn x, limit of n tending to infinity, Fn x is equal to f of x, then these two conditions are holds, then the convergence property, this one, integral upon f over E is equal to limit of n tending to infinity, integral upon Fn over E will get. Is it any doubt? The definition? Okay. This is the statement of Lebesgue convergence theorem. G is integrable. Fn is a sequence of measurable function bounded to that integrable function for almost all x in E, and also it is convergence. Then the integral upon f over E is equal to limit of n tending to infinity integral upon Fn over E. How to prove this? It is given that mod Fn is less than or equal to G means you get G is bound, Fn is bounded to minus G and plus G. Then that can be written as minus G less than or equal to Fn less than or equal to G. Then we can write G minus Fn is greater than or equal to 0 and G plus Fn is greater than or equal to 0. Since G minus Fn is converges to G minus F almost everywhere, we have a Fourth's lemma. Because G minus Fn is converges to G minus F, we have a Fourth's lemma. Then it is limit inferior. If you apply, this is less than or equal to integral upon G minus F is less than or equal to limit inferior n tending to infinity integral upon E G minus Fn. Then by the integral properties, this can be rewritten as integral upon G over E minus integral upon F over E less than or equal to Here there is not a n term, it is a independent, then this can be written as integral upon g over e minus limit superior, because minus sign it will be there. This become limit inferior become superior, integral upon fn over e. Since mod fn is less than or equal to g, it is given, we get mod f is less than or equal to g, because it is a bounded. Then f is also, this means that f is integrable. Hence, we take these two become, because it is integrable, then these two become cancelled to each other. Then we get minus integral upon f over e is less than or equal to minus time limit inferior. If we take minus sign, the inequality become reverses here. Then we get now g plus fn is greater than or equal to 0, and g plus fn, exactly similar way what we started with the proof. Here also g plus fn converges to g plus f almost everywhere. We have a Fourier's lemma, then integral upon g plus f over e is less than or equal to limit inferior of g over e plus fn. Then this we can apply to a integral properties. Integral upon g over e plus integral upon f over e is less than or equal to, this is independent, it comes out. Then integral upon g over e plus limit inferior integral upon fn over e. Then using these two, you can observe here, it is bounded between integral upon f over e. This can be rewritten as combining these two. Integral upon f over e less than or equal to limit inferior less than or equal to limit superior is equal to less than or equal to. These two are lesser and greater, means the equality will be holds. Then integral upon f over e is equal to limit n tending to infinity integral upon fn over e. If you fix in this theorem, fn is a dominated, means fixed integral function on g. Actually, the proof does not require so much. If we replace g's in the above proofs by gn's, then we get the following generalization of Lebesgue theorem. In the above theorem, if you only fix with the integral on g, and if we replace g's in the above gn's, we get the generalization. That's why we are not dealing with the proof. You can do it yourself. Lebesgue convergence or Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem. Only you can replace g's to gn's. That's all. But I will state the theorem generalization of Lebesgue convergence theorem or Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem. Let Gn be a sequence of integrable function over E. Let Fn be a sequence of measurable function such that mod Fn is less than or equal to Gn on E and almost all x is in E. Then we have f of x is equal to limit of n tending to infinity Fn x if integral upon G is equal to limit of Gn, then integral upon f over e is equal to limit of n tending to infinity integral upon fn. This is the Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem. You only work it out this theorem. Exactly similar way, I given a hint for this, you can do this generalization of Lebesgue convergence theorem or Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem. These theorems are important. Now we will move on to a problem solving hour. Show that the function f is defined by f of x is equal to integral upon 1 by x power 1 by 3. It is lies between 0 to less than or equal to 1 is a Lebesgue integrable over 0, 1. First, always you can write this one. Let n be a natural number. The function can be written as integral upon f of x 0 less than or equal to f of x less than or equal to n. Then if it is n, if f of x is greater than n. First, we can make here what is given f of x 1 by n cube less than or equal to x. less than or equal to 1. For f of x is less than or equal to n means here 1 by x power 1 by 3, then 1 by n power 1 by 3, then this is 1 by n cube is less than or equal to n. Consequently, what happens here, f of x is 1 by x power 1 by 3 means 1 by n cube is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. Then here f of x is n, if n only lies from 0 to 1 by n cube. At 0, if x is equal to 0, that is the given thing. Here the limit is 0 to 1, f of fn dx means here 1 by x power 1 by 3. The range is 1 by n cube to 1 is 1 by x power 1 by 3 plus here 1 by n 3 to 0 n into dx. Yeah, n is the function here because lesser and greater. This is the region. We can make a region here. Then find the region. You studied in your PU class itself how to make the rearrangement. Here 0 to 1 by n integral upon 0 to 1 by n cube n dx. Therefore, this is 1 by x to the power of n. 1 by x to the power of n means here, what is that? X to the power of x power n. What is the integral upon x power n? X power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Here minus, it is in the denominator, minus 1 by 3 plus 1 means that is 2 by 3 divided by 2 by 3. Here 3 by 2 into x to the power of 2 by 3. Apply the limits here. Then this is 3 by 2 times here 1 minus 1 by n square because 3 become cancelled. Plus here n, because only n is a constant, 1 into dx become x 1 by n cube. Then 1 by n square will be there by 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2n square. Here n tending to infinity, integral upon 0 to 1 f n dx become, if you are applying here 3 by 2 minus 1 by 0, sorry, 1 by infinity becomes 0 here, you get 3 by 2. Means this function f is Lebesgue integrable over 0, 1. Similarly, one more theorem, one more problem. Let's show that if f of x is equal to 1 by x, 0 less than x less than or equal to 1, f of 0 is equal to 19. There it is given 0, but here it is given 19. Let f is not integrable over e. First, you can make a function is in the form n is a natural number. F of x is n. F of x, if it is 0 less than or equal to f of x less than n, not less than or equal to here. Here only less than n. Then this is n. If f of x is greater than n, first you can make first one. F of x is n 1 by x. If 0 less than or equal to 1 by x less than or equal to n means 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. If x is greater than or equal to 1 by n, 0 less than x less than or equal to 1 here. If you're rearranging this, you get 1 by n is less than or equal to x. Observe here. Then this become 1 by n is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. And similarly, f of x is equal to n if f of x is greater than n. Then 1 by x greater than n, it is lies from 0 to 1. If you're rearranging this, x is less than 1 by n. 0 less than x less than means 0 less than x less than 1 by n is the second one. If you're combining both of them, f of x n if 0 less than x less than 1 by n, 1 by x if 1 by n less than x less than or equal to 1, and 0 at particular point it is 19. The value of f of x does not affect our calculation, but simply it is given. Then integral upon 0 to 1 fn dx, first n 0 to 1 by n dx plus 1 by n to 1 by x dx. n into 1 means x plus 1 by x is log x. Apply the limits, that is 1 by n into n, that is 1, and 0, that becomes 0. Then here log 1 is 0 minus log of 1 by n, that is minus log of 1 by n plus 1, that is 1 plus, because if you take reciprocal you get minus sign, that is log 1 minus log n, minus minus become plus 1 plus log n. Now we can apply n tending to infinity. If log n tending to infinity means it is infinite, means right hand, since the value of RHS does not exist, therefore f is not Lebesgue because it is finite value only. Now we will prove, show one more theorem. Prove that f of x is equal to 1 when x is irrational. 0, x is rational. This problem we already proved in the Lebesgue measurable function. Now we will prove measurable function. Now we will show Lebesgue integrable sets. Let E1 and E2 be the sets of points of irrational and rational in the interval 0, 1. First, E is equal to E1 union E2, evidently into the intersection, because one of them is 1, another one is 2, therefore it is empty set. This is the notion of a measurable. Sometimes M you can use, or this symbol, or mu, any one of them. Measure of f comma e is equal to measure of f of E1 plus measure of f of E2. Then measure of f comma E1 is equal to set of all x, because we can make it into a set function x comma y such that x belongs to E1, 0 less than or equal to y less than or equal to f of x. Here f of x means 0 to 1 here in the interval. This can be splitted because it is a Cartesian coordinate system. You know that one of them is x-axis and another one is y-axis. Then it is lies between 0, 1, or here 0, 1, because depending on the interval. Here you can see here x belongs to E1. This is also 1, and set of all x belongs to E1, and y belongs to E2. Here E1 we say that it is irrational, therefore it is 1 into 1, that become 1. Therefore okay. Then similarly we can take f of E2, set of all x belongs to E2, 0 less than or equal to y less than or equal to E1. You know that here what is mentioned here irrational is 1, therefore E2 is irrational, therefore rational means it is E2 times 0. 0 into any term is 0, therefore one of them is 0, another one, this is 1 plus 0, you get 1. Next, we can verify using Lebesgue monotone convergence theorem or Beppes-Lewis theorem. Here, for a -1 less than a less than 0 and f mapping from 0, 1 to r be defined by f of x is equal to x power a, it is lies between 0 and 1, 0 if x is equal to 0, then verify Beppes-Lewis theorem. I will do it in the next class for this one verification, and some more example we will discuss in the next class.